Greetings and welcome, everyone. We are continuing our commission that Spirit downloaded for us on March 1st, and that is to come on live and share about the process of moving through the energies and the densities that are along the path of leveling up in a certain area of my life. So in the prayer request of like, help, how do I get there? How do I shift and how do I expand and how do I multiply and move into this next phase that I am envisioning for myself? When I'm feeling the density, when I'm feeling the stagnation, when I'm feeling the heaviness so deeply, what are these things that are in the way of me moving forward and advancing and expanding? So Spirit said, go live for 20 days from now until you begin your Awakening Your Lightbody class on March 20th, which is the equinox, and that is coming up next week. So if you have not taken a look at that course and you are really ready to dive into something this year, this course is revolutionary, transformational, and we will put the link in the description or bio or wherever you're seeing this. So check it out. So the energy that I am bringing forward today is the energy of pointlessness. Pointlessness. And I've been talking to a couple of my Lightworker friends, and they have shared with me that they are moving through similar, really dense energies. And so we're wondering if this is part of the collective and wondering if this is part of the purpose of bringing these lives, going live every day, which is not easy for me to do, in sort of shifting this energy not only for myself but also for the collective. So the energy of pointlessness. We want to do something. We want to expand. We want to have the next level of experience for our life. And there's a wave, a thought form, a program that moves through that it's all pointless anyways, and that we actually don't have command of our life, that we don't have creative command of our life, that there are external circumstances and outside forces that, or even fate, that determines the direction of our life, the path of our life, and also our limitations, right? So confronting this energy of pointlessness, which is a lie that we tell ourselves to keep ourselves small and to keep ourselves safe, we think, from expanding into this next level that is the unknown, and keeps us safe from any perceived failure or harm that might occur as we have to grow, change, and become the next level of ourselves to align with, activate, and embody the next level of whatever it is that we are seeking to experience in our life. The energy of pointlessness. So first of all, I want to talk about mental energy and thought forms and just sort of break these down for you, because we give these thought forms a lot of weight, a lot of importance, and they really are just thoughts. They're just energy in the form of thoughts or mental energy. They actually have no weight or bearing on our reality except for the belief and the passion that we put behind them. So, two people that have really, really inspired me. One of them is Hilma of Klimt, I think her name is, and she was an artist in the early 1900s who they are now recognizing as the mother of abstract art, that this woman was doing abstract art before any of the male counterparts that are famous for abstract art actually came out with their artwork. And so this woman was guided by spirit to create this abstract art, this spiritually infused art. And she had visions of it being housed in a temple that she drew that looks exactly like the Guggenheim Museum, which I think it was 80 years later, she was rediscovered and her artwork was put on display in the Guggenheim Museum, and it was incredible. And so she was incredibly watching her or viewing her artwork and being in the presence of her original artwork and knowing her story, that she painted all these amazing huge paintings, a lot of them with like tempera paint, and they were stored for 80 years before the public got to see them, because at the time that she allowed this creative expression through her being, the world itself wasn't ready for a female artist bringing forth the new thing, which was abstract art. They weren't ready for abstract art, and they weren't ready for the female, the woman artist, to be the mother of this new phase or theme, right, of artwork. And so this artwork was stored for over 80 years and then fills the Guggenheim Museum in New York City. And it's so amazing that this happened, that this occurred, that they found that this artwork was pre all of the other abstract art. And of course, she's dead, right? So her artwork that she was doing from her heart, from her guidance, had no public recognition through her lifetime. And so if she allowed the thought form of pointlessness to inhibit her creative expression of this art, the world would never have this art, and the world could never be inspired by this art. And it's incredibly inspiring, it's incredibly inspiring as a woman, as a female, to see that this woman, this female, put out this massive amount of work from her heart, and she ended up being the first of the abstract artists that they know of. So it's just incredibly humbling, inspiring, and empowering for the women of our generation. And I have spoken to quite a few women who have gone to see her exhibit. This was several years ago, who had their own profound experience in reflecting and being with this art and being with this story and being with the ghost and the spirit of this woman and her creative expression. So the energy of pointlessness is a mental thought form that exists within the collective, that is given life over and over and over again when we agree to it. And there is a lot of messages out there in the world, particularly in media and on the news, that would suggest that anything that we do as individual people will not make any effect on the world, will not create any change on the world, will not affect the direction of upliftment of our society, our humanity, our environmental systems. There is an actual program that is being shared in order to snub out and disempower and discourage those that would be here for change. and it's the energy of pointlessness. It's all pointless anyway. It's all pointless anyway. So if you have this energy, and I as a spiritual coach, as a spiritual guide, as a spiritual counselor, I have had the privilege and honor of meeting with and talking with a lot of younger men in their mid 20s, late 20s that have this sort of blanket of pointlessness and overwhelm upon them because they're looking out at the world and they're seeing all of the broken bits, which is what we're being fed generally by the news and the media, is the broken bits, which again, feeding this information of brokenness to the point of complete, utter, like cray cray on all dimensions. I'm talking about everything right now, like the election and the political sphere and our mental health crisis and our environmental crisis and the global warming crisis and the possible nuclear crisis and the alien invasion crisis and all of the stuff that may be happening or may not be happening, who knows? But all of the stuff that's out there that's being sort of like bombarded in regards to how things are not flowing with grace, but are needing of an incredible up level, incredible infusion of new energy. If we as individuals deny the heart's pulse to do what it is that we came here to do, to express the divinity that's within us, to express the solution consciousness that we might be receiving, if we allow the energy of pointlessness, then our puzzle piece, our energy, our stream is not being hooked up to the grid. It's not being delivered to the recipe or the wave of ascension, whatever it is that you want to call it. If we allow the energy of pointlessness to stop us, then we settle for a less fulfilled personal life and possibly a diminished impact and influence that we might have not only in our lifetime, but in 80 years from now or 100 years from now, because it's all a wave, right? So like the little pebbles that we're dropping in these ponds is the wave, and we don't get to know all the time what our influence has or does upon the world. And so it's really important to us as light workers, whether we are working in the physical world, in systems and rearranging, bringing new systems, bringing new healthcares, or working in the spiritual realms, in human consciousness and human evolution, wherever we are, wherever we're adding our heart, our spirit, our soul. And if we're not adding our soul and our spirit and our heart to the world, what are we doing? What's the point? What's the purpose? Personally. So there's this pointlessness that comes over, it shrouds your crown, it shrouds your third eye so that you can't connect to your higher guidance, to your higher self, and to your higher vision. So I'm throwing it out there so that you can identify when the energy of pointlessness is occurring for you. I wanted to share one more personal inspirational story with you. Hold on one second. I'm just going to pause this for 1 sec. All right, so here we go. I just wanted to pop this up here. So this guy, Englishman Brendan Grimshaw, bought a tiny inhabited island for $13,000 50 years ago. This guy, this one individual, bought this piece of property. He planted over 16,000 trees, built 5 kilometers of paths. He attracted 2,000 new bird species to the island. It now hosts 2/3 of the fauna. The abandoned piece of land has turned into a real paradise, right? And so he was offered $50 million, but he refused. He wants it to become a park. And so he achieved just that in 2008. The island was declared a national park. One dude, I'm going to stop the screen share now. One dude that bought an island for $13,000 and created a paradise for himself and a national park for the world to go to. So what I'm saying is all of this, everything that is in your heart to do can be done. Don't allow the energy of pointlessness to hold you back for too long. It comes in waves. We have to deal with it. We feel it. It sucks. And then we have to say, F that. F that. I'm doing it anyways. I am coming alive for 20 days, regardless of anybody sees me, regardless of anybody hears me, regardless of this message is hitting anybody, because this is my own way of busting through the waves of pointlessness, the waves that say, well, only 20 people watch your YouTube channel anyway. So what's the point, right? Only 5 people on Instagram say anything to you. So what's the point? So it's this energy of pointlessness that we just have to move beyond it. And we just have to keep walking one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, and trust that it is a journey and that eventually we're going to get where we want to go. We're going to build that beautiful island. We're going to paint those masterpieces that in the future will have deep, deep meaning for somebody, even if they have no meaning while we're alive, right? I mean, those of you who are into the arts, I love art and painting. And Van Gogh, just reading his history, this was some kind of like really bipolar individual, had a lot of mental health issues. People would cross the street when they saw him coming down because they didn't want to talk to him. They would cross the street just to get out of his path so they didn't have to talk to Van Gogh. And all of his life, his artwork, he sold it for food, basically. He sold it for pennies. And now his artwork is sold in the millions of dollars. He painted because he had to paint. It was his calling. It was his love. It was his outlet. It was his channel to spirit, to the source of creativity. We all have that. We all have that drive to do something, say something, create something, even if it's a personal expansion, right? Like even if it's a beautiful new home or even if it's a beautiful new family, we can get stuck up on the pointlessness. I know that, there's a lot of people out there in the world that are seeking and attracting or seeking to attract sacred, beloved partnership. And they look at the apps and the dating world at this point, and they can get very, very discouraged because it's a hookup culture. And the sacred, beloved love is seemingly hard to find in this hookup culture that we've evolved into. So all I'm saying is don't let pointlessness derail you from your goals, from your vision, from the direction that you are working towards, because it's not the thing. It's not the final thing. It's the process of moving through these obstacles that create the fulfillment and the strength and the character of your being. So I think I've talked for longer than I intended. Thank you for listening out there, my 5 followers. And we will see you again tomorrow. If you have not signed up for the Lightworkers Level Up 5-day free masterclass, we invite you in. We're going to go into working with the bridge of light tomorrow, and horizontal versus vertical alignment, and reorienting ourselves. And all of this is leading towards our Awakening Your Lightbody 12-month course on March 20th. See you soon.